the world. If you're in the morning, good morning. If you're in the afternoon, good afternoon. If you're in the night, good evening. And if you're in the Milky Way, I wish you all the best. All right, very quickly, I first want to find out how many people are holding, or let me see how many people here in the house participated in Polkadot prior chain auctions. If you participated in Polkadot prior chain auctions last year, just give me a hi in the chat section. If you participated in Polkadot prior chain auction last year, when we're all about Polkadot crowd loan and stuff like that. Okay, thank you, Praise. Who else again? Olufemi, thank you. All right, let's keep it coming. I just want to have an idea of how many people actually participated in Polkadot prior chain auctions. Okay, just 4 so far. Wow. Okay, just keep on dropping it high. Yeah, because this survey is very, very important. It's very, very important. All right, I'm sure some people might not know the meaning of Polkadot parachain auction. So we'll first start with that and look at the meaning of Polkadot parachain auctions. Yeah. All right, here on my screen is parachains.info. It's an independent platform to understudy the Polkadot ecosystem as a whole. Right, so I'll be using it to talk about Polkadot parachain auctions. And it's actually very similar to Launchpads. For those of you that participated in Launchpad last year. Yeah, so basically in layman's terms, Polkadot parachain crowd loan or auctions is just a way of new projects coming in to raise money. But now they're not raising it from private investors, or let me say after private investors like the likes of maybe Sequoia Capital, Solana Ventures, Coinbase Ventures, A16Z, majority of all these top crypto backers, after they've done pre-sale, of course they can't buy out the entire token because they're not allowed to. Then there's a stage where some allocation is given to the public, like you and I. So it's called a crowd loan. They raise money like probably $50. It's not fixed, but then it's in the number of tokens. So they can raise dots. It can raise like 1 million dots. So people now buy based on the amount they can. So that is crowd loan basically. So when you contribute your token as a way of supporting the project, it gets locked up for 96 weeks, which is 2 years, and it hasn't changed. So what happens when you lock up your funds, right? They give you their token for free. So last year we participated in 4 projects that won the parachain auction. You can see here, the auction actually takes about 1 week, and it happens in succession, and it's always announced anytime the auction wants to happen. And before we actually delved into Polkadot parachain auctions last year, because we were fortunate to participate in the first ever Polkadot parachain auctions, and we always used Moon River as an example then, because Moon River happened earlier in June, July. So we were using that as a case study on how we're going to enter Polkadot parachain auctions. And we've done a lot of videos on this, which I might be referring to rather than just go over it all again. We did a lot of videos because we were like 2 months ahead of this opportunity, which we shared with Moon Arcaders. And it's actually one of the best opportunities we got into. And Polkadot remains one of the best crypto ecosystems that we've participated in so far. And you find out why. So going back to what I said last year, you can see these 4 projects won the parachain auction. Moonbeam, Akala. Akala was the first, Parallel Finance, A-Star. We called these 4 projects because we believed them to be legacy projects as at last year. And they still are. That's why we still remain bullish on them, including one that is not here. So we're very bullish on this one too. So when they won the parachain auctions, what happened? They gave us tokens. You understand? They gave us these tokens for free. And from last year till now, definitely you know that they are still locking up our DOT. So see what happens, right? In parachain auctions, this is your DOT token, like your funds, basically in DOT tokens, Polkadot native token. You give it to them, they lock it up for 96 weeks, and they give you back their token, like their native token. So for Moonbeam now, the native token is Glimmer, GLMR. Pardon my handwriting, it's terrible, like my digital handwriting anyways. So they give you back Glimmer for free. So, but the number of Glimmer you get is actually now dependent on the amount of DOT you contributed for them. So that is basically a crowd loan, and that is how it works. Now look at it. When these 4 projects won in succession, they didn't just all win at once. You know, it happens every week. Yeah, you can see here that for every DOT you get, they finally gave 4 Glimmer. But as at that time, when they had not done the parachain auction, it was still tentative. It was probably sometimes they'll say 1 to 1, 1 to 2, 1 to 3, 1 to 4. Then for every DOT you gave them for Acala, you got 4.61 Acala. For every 1 DOT we gave, we got 93 para tokens. And for every 1 DOT we gave to A Star, we got 102. Now, you must understand that this project carries different weights, different value, and different traction into the ecosystem, into the crypto ecosystem as a whole. But you know, for the purpose of this, we are just focusing on Polkadot parachain auction. So when you hear the word parachain, you must understand that it is exclusive to the Polkadot ecosystem. There's no other ecosystem at the moment using the word parachain. That word is exclusive to the Polkadot ecosystem. But crowd loan launchpads, you can find that in any ecosystem. Crowd loan launchpads, auctions. But when you hear parachain, remember Polkadot. So we did a sort of a ROI analysis, but this is not the main purpose of the meeting, right? And this ROI analysis kind of gives us, it was a projection of the streams of income from Polkadot parachain auction. Look at how beautiful parachain auctions are, right? Up to about 5 streams of income, which have different weights on the entire ecosystem, on the entire investment portfolio, you know, on an individual basis. Remember, we participated in 4 projects: Acala, Moonbeam, A-Star, Parallel Finance. So we dropped 150 dots for Acala, 150 dots for Moonbeam, 150 dots for A-Star, and 50 dots for Parafinance. So that 400 dots was worth about $14,000 as at the time of doing this report. And if you look at what we have here, so remember that if you drop 1 dot, you get 4 Glimmer. So 150 dots, that will be times 4. So that means that 150 dots would have given us 600 Moonbeam tokens, right? Now, okay, now it would have been on 615 because they gave, I think, they gave additional rewards because they increased their the threshold reward. I remember that they wanted to give out about, I think, 50 million Glimmer tokens. They ended up giving 100 million, but then we are still within range. So look at the opportunity here, right, for Polkadot parachain auctions. If you get 600 Moonbeam tokens for free by committing your dots for 2 years, looking at the current price of dots, right? Looking at the current price of dots, let me use online calculator. So we're going to multiply 600 dots, 600 Glimmer tokens times the current price of Glimmer. What's the current price of Glimmer? That's $4. Remember that you got this for free. You got 600 units. Okay, I don't even need to use a calculator. Pardon me. You just come here and type 600. So that's about $2,444. When did we do this? We did this in November, December period. And in January, we're already having over $2,444. That is why we came up with this analysis here. And if you do the analysis for A color, for Moonbeam, for A star, for parallel finance, you will notice that not that you're in massive profit as per se, but then you still have like recouped like over 50% of the money you deposited with them on just one stream of income alone. Now, we cannot compare the performance of all these projects, like together, because Moonbeam perform differently from A-Color. Now, why are we bullish on Polkadot's ecosystem, right? Because that's one of the main reasons why this meeting is holding today. Why are we bullish on Polkadot's ecosystem? You must understand that the founder of the CTO of Ethereum initially was Gavin Wood, who is now the founder of Polkadot ecosystem. Although of course he has other founders, but he's kind of the front figure in the space. So when he created Polkadot as a way of not actually to rival Ethereum, but to create something better for the ecosystem, because we are all aware of the congestion issues in the crypto space. So when Polkadot came into the space, right, we had some other projects that now started coming on Polkadot. That's why we refer to Polkadot as what? Who can tell me which layer is Polkadot's? What layer is Polkadot? Mr. Wealth, will come back to you on that question. Who can help us with that question? What layer is Polkadot ecosystem? Wow. Background. Hey, that first answer was. Okay, I guess that's a new member anyways. But that was a good attempt though. At least it's still within range of the layers that exist. Just give it a try, actually. Just try. Okay, let's have more answers. Somebody has gotten it. It's actually layer 0. And I'll explain to you why it's layer 0. Sorry, let me just quickly do that. It's not layer 2, neither is it layer 3. It's layer 0 because it can host another blockchain. Like another blockchain can actually sit on it. So I'm not going to waste time here. This is layer 0, right? This is like Polkadot. This is Polkadot. Then you can have a platform like Ethereum. Ethereum is a blockchain with, smart contracts can be built on it. So just imagine these are smart contracts, smart contracts, smart contracts. Please, for proper understanding, refer to the meeting on layer 2. Yeah, we did a meeting earlier, I think about last 2 weeks or thereabout. We called it layer 2. There was an illustration that explained how this thing works. Yeah, so we explained everything there. So this is Ethereum, for instance. So an Ethereum, for instance, can sit on Polkadot. Why? Because Polkadot is focusing on interoperability. That's the major advantage. So we can have another blockchain here, like let's say Solana or Terra, it can sit on it. Terra is actually sitting on Cosmos, on the Cosmos ecosystem. So you can have different blocks. That's why we refer to Polkadot as layer 0. So if a blockchain is sitting on another blockchain, it's called layer 1. Then all these dApps, right, they are not necessarily referred to as layer 3, but technically speaking, they can be called layer 3, but they are just generally called dApps. Yeah, all right. So that said, going back to why we are bullish on Polkadot and the tokens they were actually looking at in Polkadot ecosystem. So let me share our portfolio. Just a moment, because we actually have like a portfolio tracker, that simulates if you had invested in Polkadot. I remember we did not create CoinGecko. We just imputed the parameters here. The full meaning of dApps is decentralized applications. Decentralized applications. So if you look at that meeting on layer 2, that meeting where we said what investors don't know about layer 2. Please watch that meeting. We laid emphasis on such things. So these are the tokens that we're looking at Polkadot ecosystem, and I'm going to explain each one of them. Of course, Polkadot itself, it's the native token of the Polkadot ecosystem, and the native token is actually experiencing a lot of utility right now, but that is not our focus. So starting with Moonbeam, what is Moonbeam? Right, Moonbeam is like an Ethereum. It's like, please note my wording. Moonbeam is like an Ethereum, like a better Ethereum, because remember that it's still traceable to the same co-founder that built Solidity and also worked extensively on Ethereum, the main Ethereum, before he now came to co-found Polkadot. Then, although he's not the one that founded Moonbeam, Moonbeam is another company or an organization of its own. But all these things about networking, you definitely know each other, that kind of thing. So Moonbeam is like an Ethereum, but it is not called Ethereum in Polkadot ecosystem. It is called Moonbeam. So just imagine that this is like an Ethereum's doppelganger, so to speak. So why are we referring it to as like an Ethereum? Because it was created to actually solve the issue of scalability that Ethereum was having. So that means it can also host any application on Ethereum right now can easily port to Moonbeam. That's when you hear EVM compatible. You hear a lot of those things that this like a project is EVM compatible. When you hear EVM means Ethereum virtual machine. So if you deploy a project on Ethereum, for instance, and you're having issues, you can easily port it without adding any code. You can port, like the way you port from one network to the other, you just port to Moonbeam and you are existing on Moonbeam. So let's quickly check the project. So a lot of popular projects that was not originally created on Polkadot have even moved to the Polkadot ecosystem. Like you see some of them here, like Core Finance. Then you see, I think SushiSwap, one of the major, dexes. Yeah, okay, here we go. Yeah, you see Stellar Swap and I think Uniswap. So there are a lot of them here that are moving, that were existing. Yeah, Chainlink was one I was trying to remember. Chainlink had it's a fantastic project. They are now existing on Polkadot. They had to move to Substrates. Substrate is the software, is like what Solidity is to Ethereum. Yeah, so what I'm trying to establish here is the need for, or the potential for, Moonbeam. So that's why we're very, very bullish, and we still remain bullish on Moonbeam. And if you look at it very carefully, if you got over 600 Moonbeam at parachain auction, let's say you didn't even get up to 600, you got maybe 100 Moonbeam tokens. At the current price, Moonbeam is about $4. So if you look at the trajectory of Ethereum and what Ethereum did since 2015, we are not saying that, okay, Moonbeam is going to do the same, but we can measure against it and say, okay, let's say that Moonbeam does probably maybe 50% of that, probably in the next 5 years, in the next 3 years. Where do we see Moonbeam? You understand? That's the main thing. Now, if you're hodling this token, just type Glimmer. Type Glimmer on Telegram. Please type Glimmer on Telegram if you're hodling this token. Not here on Zoom. Please type Glimmer on Telegram. Can you type Glimmer on Telegram? Yeah, just type Glimmer if you're hodling this. I want to show you something. I want to do like a future projection here. Please do not consider this a financial advice. They're just our own personal opinion, and we're just trying to predict the future. Type Moonbeam on Telegram. On Telegram, please. Yep, thank you. So at the moment, you can see the market cap is almost a billion. I remember in 2013 when I think 2012, 2013, when the market cap of Bitcoin was still like a billion. Now the market cap of Bitcoin has done 1,000x, like hitting 1 trillion. That's crazy. But that is not to say that Moonbeam is going to go that route. I'm just trying to let you know that sometimes when you see this stuff, you think that's the best they can do, but just wait it out. So if at the moment, with the current price of Moonbeam, let's check the all-time high. Now, there's a discrepancy between CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko. The all-time high for CoinGecko is about, as you can see here, about $19.50. But on CoinMarketCap, it's about $457 as the all-time high. These discrepancies are bound to happen at times, but let's go with the lower figure, which is more conservative for us because we want to make an investment decision. So, and because of the recent decline in market prices, it's currently trading at about $3.91. Okay, someone is drawing on my screen. Yeah, so if you have, let's say if you're able to dollar cost average into Moonbeam, remember that we told you, and for the new members, any project that the market cap is above $500 million, you always want to dollar cost average into it. You just don't buy these tokens and keep it somewhere. You buy, dollar cost averaging means buying the same token repeatedly, concurrently on the particular day, not necessarily particular time. So if you're buying a token every Monday, $50, the same amount, the same day, repeatedly. So you can either dollar cost average quarterly, monthly, yearly, depending on your financial goals. So if you're dollar cost averaging every week, you can do maybe $20, $100, $1,000, depending on your pocket. So if you're doing $15 every week and you're doing it every Monday, it reduces your exposure to volatility. You do not need to care about price fluctuations in that regard. You understand? So every time you're purchasing $50 of this token, you can just come here and calculate the current price. You can see I just pressed the swap button. So $50 worth of Moonbeam is currently 12 Glimmer tokens. If I want to invest a fixed amount, dollar cost averaging is always good when you do a fixed amount, and you can choose to buy more when the market has dipped. Like now that the market is way below its all-time high price, you might choose to do more. The end of dollar cost averaging, the end goal is to actually have more profit in the future, definitely. So, but then if you want to stick to the same price, it's your choice. So if you put in $100 now, you get about 25 Glimmer tokens. So if you do that for 1 year, at this current price, that should give you about 300 Glimmer tokens. This is just an example, right? So in about 3 years, let's say you're able to accumulate about maybe 5,000 Glimmer tokens, and Glimmer happens to go from about, let's say it does about 10x from here. 10x will take it to almost $31. So, and you're able to accumulate about 5 Glimmer tokens. Let's say in the space of 2 years or more or less, it's possible. Looking at the potential growth, 5,000 Glimmer tokens times $31 is $155,000. Remember that we did not buy this token once. If you just go now and say you want to buy 5,000, you might not be able to afford it. That's going to cost you about $19,500, right? I hope you guys can see my calculator. Please, Digital, confirm if you can see my calculator. Maybe I should just open one that they can see. So that
yeah, we can see your screen perfectly.
Not my screen, my calculator.
Well, I just seen your calculator now. It was CoinGecko thing.
Okay, sorry, I was using the external calculator. So let me just quickly take it again, because this analysis will serve as the foundation for other ones, right? We want to accumulate 5,000 Glimmer tokens. That's why you need to have a target. This is a legacy project. You understand? It's a legacy project. It's more like buying Ethereum when Ethereum was still a baby, right? So we want to accumulate 5,000 Glimmer tokens. If you divide that by, let's say 24 months, that's going to take us 2 years. That means we're getting 208 on a monthly basis. So at the current rate, 208 Glimmer tokens will cost how much? $800. Okay, that might be cheap for some people and it might also be expensive for some people. So let's go a little lower to make it more conservative. You understand? So let's divide by that 5,000 by 36 months, right? That's 3 years. That means you get 138 every month. You understand? So if you put in 138 here, how much is that at this current price? That's about $539. So this is just an analysis. It doesn't mean you can't do 100 glimmer. It doesn't mean you can't do 50 glimmer. It doesn't mean you can't even do 10 glimmer. It depends on your pocket. You can decide to dollar cost average $20 every week or $20 every month. Just make sure you're accumulating glimmer. Just make sure you're accumulating glimmer. So now, at the end of 3 years, you're holding glimmer tokens, let's say about 5,000 units. You're not selling, right? This is more or less like a retirement token. It's one of our core tokens. So we're not, it's not a GameFi project where we just want to take profit. Of course, you can decide to offload some of your portfolio should you choose to, Now, the price of glimmer goes to all-time high. Let's start with that. What's the all-time high here? I hope you guys are following me. The all-time high here is what? $19.50. And you've accumulated half of this, which is 2,500. I want us to be very conservative. It's not good to always be too ambitious with this kind of projection. So let's say you've accumulated just 2,500 of this first for a start. So 2,500 times 19 cents, $19. That's $47,500. When Moonbeam goes back or approaches its all-time high, that means your portfolio is going to be worth $47,500. Then you wait a little longer, right, for Moonbeam to probably go ahead of that. Remember, we said 10x. It has not done 10x at this stage because it's still on $19. 10x means what? 10x means like that's 1,000%. That's 1,000% increase. You understand? That's 1,000% increase. So 10x to Moonbeam from here will take it to $30. So you holding that same 2,500 units of Moonbeam times $30, that's $75,000. But remember that there's a sacrifice that needs to be done here, hodling. The problem is not the token. Forget about the token. It's going to bring you money, right? Based on research, you understand? But then you need to be able to hodl. And I just did a conservative figure of the half of that. If you have 5,000 glimmer tokens in the next 5 years, if you're able to hold, or even for 3 years, just hodl, right? Times $30, that's 150K. You understand? Then best case scenario, or most wonderful case scenario, Moonbeam goes to a price of like $500. Like $500, and you happen to have 5,000 units. Remember, this is a retirement token. In the next 7 years or maybe 10 years later, Moonbeam goes to about 1,000 and only 5,000 units. That's $5 million. And it's worth the wait. So these are the kind of projections we play around with to be able to determine, but please don't always go with the best case scenario. It's better you go with the worst case scenario. Do you understand? So please, we're emphasizing on the fact that this is a legacy project. And for those of you that are saying we've not seen any project to get into, we want to get into a project, please feel free after checking all these projects on Polkadot to say, okay, I think what this guy is saying about Moonbeam is making sense. I'll get Moonbeam. Or what this guy is saying about Polkadot is making sense. I'll go with Polkadot. You understand? Well, we've already listed out this. There are over 166 projects on Polkadot at the moment, and 86 of them are trading. And out of these 86, we've picked just this 7. There are still more that we're going to bring to the space, but these 7. So now, look at this scenario, right? The total balance of our portfolio is about $29,258. We had a drawdown of $433 and a total drawdown. Okay, this is past 24 hours. A total drawdown of over $1,000. But look at the big picture here. Overall, Ikala alone did about 124. This alone did about 1,000%. This alone did about 288%. So this is just like a simulation, as though you bought Moonbeam launched in January. This one last year, it's launched like years ago. This last year, January. These ones were under parachain options. We got these 3 under parachain options. You get what I'm trying to say? So Moonbeam alone has given over 288% since January. If you got it for free, or let's say you even bought it in January when we said, because when the token started trading, some people still bought and some people still made money off it. Not just Moon and Kidas alone, the entire crypto community, because they have strong social buzz. Now, where are we going? The next project that I want to talk about please let me notify you that today is not, we're not going to discuss everything today. We've not even gone to our portfolio ROI analysis for those that participate in pricing options, then how to, create wallets. Out as a new person that wants to come into the Polkadot space, you need a Polkadot address. You need to create your wallet, just like we did in catch-up class. So the next catch-up would cover how you can create your Polkadot wallet for those that are new, such that you can, get into the Polkadot space. So it's very, very important. So we can't cover everything in this meeting. So the main emphasis of this meeting is just to show you why we are still bullish on these tokens that we talked about last year. Remark, a lot of you have heard about NFTs, and stuff like that. What Remark is doing to the space is different. We call it NFT 2.0. Now, there's this big grammar that probably took days to understand. But in the process of research, what this big grammar just means is that NFTs are now programmable, just like money is now programmable. You understand? And what makes money programmable? Smart contracts, Bitcoin and the likes. Money is now programmable, and that the previous features of money did not sustain that function alone, programmability of money. But now NFTs here are now programmable in the sense that your NFT can now grow. So if you had the NFT as a child, it can grow like to a person, and it should still be the same NFT, and the value would increase. So why are we bullish on Remark? Like now, there was a deep dive we did. Like if you see these two videos, I'm not going to play it. If you want to know more, just go and play these videos to understand more. But I'm just going to explain it briefly because we have just a few minutes left. I don't want to spend more than 45 minutes. So now, what is NFT doing? Like you see this guy here, for instance, now he's holding this scepter, or what some people might call a staff. This diamond on it is another NFT. Then his body features as well are NFTs as well. So in this other video too, you have a land in probably a metaverse like Sandbox, and your land is an NFT on the blockchain, definitely. Then this billboard is another NFT owned by your land, which still belongs to you. Now you can now place advert on this. You can now place adverts on this billboard. So these are the kind of possibilities Remark is bringing into the space. And when we spotted this project till now, I remember when we spotted it, like it's pumped from about I think about $10 or $20. I mean $10 to about over $30. You understand? Although now it's down, but we're not looking at the current price. Forget about the current price. We're talking of legacy. We're talking of long-term use case. Yeah, I think we spotted it around here last year. Then it pumped. Okay, yeah, it pumped to about $60 from about $10. That's 6x. That's 600% on your gains. That's taking $1,000 to $6,000. That is taking, that's taking like $100 to $600, $1,000 to $6,000, $10,000 to $60,000. You understand? And $100,000 to $600,000. Yeah. So that's another use case that Remark is bringing to the space, and we're still very much bullish on it. And one fundamental feature of the Polkadot ecosystem is that it has what we call Kusama. Kusama is like a testnet. It's a canary network. When you hear the word canary, canary is more like a testnet for Polkadot, where developers, enthusiasts, crypto investors deploy projects on the network to test. But this testing is not done with testnet tokens or shit tokens. It's done with real life economics. That's why you see when you hear Polkadot, you hear Kusama. When you hear Moonbeam, you hear Moonriver. They are sister projects. One is existing with real economics where people actually buy the tokens, on two networks. But in previous meetings, we've done this analysis, and I'm sure a lot of our old members are aware of this, but we're still going to touch it in subsequent meetings for the new members. Moonbeam, for instance, has a sister token called Moonriver, but we're not going into that. Now let's go to A-Star. A-Star is another project we're bullish on. Why? Because it's not just only EVM compatible, but it's more like a DeFi center for the entire Polkadot ecosystem. It's similar to Acala, but then it focuses on majorly just DeFi projects. So, and they actually have some traction here. They've locked over $2 billion, which is quite some amount of money. Although we're still going to verify this because we like to verify things. We don't just follow all these bogus numbers and believe in it right away. You get what I'm trying to say? So sometimes, but it's not even because of total value they're telling this. I'm coming from a technological perspective here, and what they're trying to do. And more so, guys, you see, one of the reasons why all these projects we are bullish on them is the fact that, remember when we did the Apache auctions, you see, majority of these projects, they have a sister project that was released way earlier. You can see Polkadot and Kusama. This A star, it has a sister network that succeeded on Kusama. You understand? That succeeded on Kusama. So I don't know if any of you remember Shiny Network. You can see it's a winner of the Parachain auction on Kusama ecosystem. It's very confusing, I know, but don't worry, just follow me. Okay, remember, don't let us lose focus. This is the sister project for A star that we just mentioned, and it has succeeded on Kusama. And when I say succeeded, it might not necessarily be in terms of massive token appreciation, but in terms of the technology that they have come to deploy on Polkadot. So let me just go back to what I was sharing earlier. Okay, sorry. Trying to get my screen back. Yeah, A star. So A star, I'm not going to go too deep into it, but it's a fantastic project you're looking at. So it's like a multi-chain smart contract platform that supports multiple blockchains, also dApps that are EVM compatible. Remember I said earlier that when you hear EVM compatible, it means that you can deploy that smart contract. So that means smart contracts on Ethereum can easily come to A star. And the fact that people are actually locking funds on A star, and the market cap is like, I think, the third or second biggest market cap in the ecosystem. So if you participated in A star as Parachain auctions, you remember that you should be staking your tokens on this same dashboard to get APRs. I remember that we shared that earlier in previous meetings, because if you look at it, right, when we put 50 dots in A star, we're getting about 6,957 A star. You need to go stake this. You need to go and stake this on A star's dApp. You understand? I mean, DEX rather. Yeah. So now the fourth project they were talking about is Akala. So Akala was the project that actually won the first Parachain auction of Polkadot, and it's the DeFi hub, as they say, for Polkadot ecosystem. I mentioned that A-Star2 is more like a DeFi hub, but I think Akala has a kind of a stronger use case because they have a decentralized and algorithmic stable coin like Terra, but doesn't operate like Terra, but it serves so many use cases. So why are we bullish on Akala? From a technological perspective, the token might not have done massive gains now, but we're very bullish on token economics because it's deflationary, and they also have a stable coin that can be used within the entire Polkadot ecosystem. Now, when you have such stable coins, it provides liquidity and more token utility for the tokens, for Akala tokens as well, because when you want to mint these stable currencies, you provide collaterals, and Akala token itself happens to be one of the collaterals you can provide. So let's just do a soft dive into Akala token itself. By the way, I forgot to mention that this project actually went live January. They went live January, and Akala is now number 152 out of 18,000 cryptocurrencies. It's now 152. So, and we believe it can go higher. Then Moonbeam as well. Let's check what Moonbeam is now. On CoinMarketCap, it's about 80 something. Let's see where CoinGecko ranks it. Sorry. I think I got some questions. I'll come back to the questions shortly. Okay, Moonbeam here is about 108, but on CoinMarketCap, I think it's about I know it's within top 100, but however the case might be, we already know that these projects are already within top 200 cryptocurrencies with their market caps almost hitting $1 billion. So when you look at Moonbeam, for instance, like they just even deployed $250 million ecosystem funding, but generally, like it's a long-term project, and we're still very much bullish on Akala. So it's part of the Parachim project we participated in last year. So yeah, I wanted to do a deep dive on the token itself. Looking at the current price of Akala, $1.49, and it has an all-time high of about $2.79. That's about 46% from the all-time high, then 79% from the all-time low. So evidently, if you're dollar cost averaging into a token like this, because remember, let me give you an example. For each ecosystem, there's a very DeFi is part of the pillars that hold each ecosystem. If you go to Binance, what DEX is holding the Binance ecosystem? PancakeSwap. You understand? It's one of the strong DEXs on it. If you go to Avalanche Network, there are DEXs. DEXs are more like the decentralized exchanges that provide that people can use to trade tokens and provide liquidity and all those kind of things. You understand? Stake and get rewards and those kind of things. So look at PancakeSwap. PancakeSwap is number 52. Is the major DEX on the Binance ecosystem. So Akala is more like the PancakeSwap for Binance, but now it is one of the major DEXs for Polkadot. So that's just one of the reasons why we're bullish on it. Then the token economics is not bad. It's about 1 billion. Circulating supply is about 371, maybe like almost at 30-something%. And the market cap is half a billion. Now, if you're dollar cost averaging into this, just like the analogy we did on Moonbeam, 100 Akala is about $148 at the moment. If you're accumulating 100 Akala every month, as an example, at the end of 36 months, these are long-term projects. If you do that times, remember, you don't have to follow these exact figures. They're just examples. Times 36 months will be 3,600 Akala tokens that you'll be hodling, right? Please, we always also advise for the core tokens that we call, it's always better to just hodl and dollar cost average into them, to just hodl them and forget about them. Do you understand? Don't have any reason to sell, but please do not consider this a financial advice, because I'm telling you, if somebody sold 800 Ethereum when 800 dipped in 2018. He sold 800 Ethereum and about 660 something Bitcoin. He sold it because he thought probably that was the end. And Ethereum has not even hit this current price as at then. So sometimes you just want to hodl. And he was sharing his testimony on YouTube, and he probably regretted it. So, okay, that aside. Now, if Akala moves back to its all-time high from the current price, that's $3,600 times $2.76. That's about almost $10,000, right? But then if it does 10x from where it is, remember I used all-time high to get this figure. If it does 10x from where it is now, we're looking at $10.48. So we take 3,600 units of Akala times $10.36. That's about $37,000. Now let's look at the window. How possible is it for it to happen? The potentials are high, at least probably the next bull run, or as they're getting more adoption, because they haven't come in on Terra ecosystem and a lot is happening, right? So windows should be about maybe 1 to 3 years. It can happen within 1 year, it can happen up to 3 years or even more. But the potential for it to happen is very high because these are legacy projects. You understand? So that's $37,000 in less than 36 months, a 10x. And remember, I'm being very conservative with these figures. It can even do more than 10x. It can do a 20x, because if you look at other major DEXs for Binance like PancakeSwap, they've done more than 10x. These are projects that are doing 50x, 100x. That's 5,000% to 10,000%. 10x is just 1,000%. On a normal day, some of the best calls we've had, we've seen 1,000% in 3 months. You understand? But it's not always to just run investment analysis by that. We always try to be very conservative and work with worst case scenario. But so Akala is a good deal, long run. Not financial advice, please. Always take time to also do your research. That's why we share this knowledge with you so that you can make sound decisions. So let's go back to our crypto portfolio. Polkadot. Yeah, Affinity. What does Affinity do? Briefly, Affinity is more like a metaverse NFT engine. And over close to about that, I'm sure about up to 50, I'm sure in January alone, over $24 billion of NFTs was traded. And not the entire ecosystem. On one platform alone, OpenSea, 24 billion transactions worth of NFTs. So the traction is crazy. Now that we're in March, so it's probably, that figure would have probably done maybe 2x or 3x in terms of transaction volumes. So what is Affinity? Affinity, why we're looking at Affinity is because they have an established team, and they happen to have like succeeded in being able to establish themselves in the gaming ecosystem before they actually came to crypto. So they are partnered with a lot of blockchain projects, and like the likes of Microsoft and the likes, to bring games to the blockchain. Okay, I think there's a disruptor trying to disrupt our meeting. Please, if you're writing my screen, please, you need to stop. Yeah, thank you. So I'm trying to open the website for Affinity. Yeah. So Affinity is more like next generation of NFTs. It's not like Remark. Remark is more like conditioning, programming NFTs. Affinity is more like a blockchain for NFTs. So you want to build your NFT, your games, everything, you can use the Affinity blockchain and ecosystem. So it's actually deeper more than that, but it has other features to, like marketplace, like a cross chain. So it's good for gamers, and a lot of all these games that are coming into the ecosystem, they can use Affinity to build their NFTs, to distribute. Building is one thing, distributing it is one thing, and managing. Yeah, because we have different sections of NFTs: building, minting, managing, transfer, marketplace, everything you can find it within Affinity. Yeah, so that said, we still remain very bullish on all these projects. Yeah, Parallel Finance is another one, but Parallel Finance has not yet launched. A lot of you participated on Parallel Finance for your Polkadot parachain auction last year, but the tokens are not yet trading. What do I mean by tokens are not yet trading? The project is live, but you can't buy the token, so they're not yet trading in the marketplace. So there's some projects like that. So for instance, if you go to CoinMarketCap and you see something like this, the name of the project will come out, and okay, hold on just a moment. EQ, Equilibrium. Okay, let's go to CoinMarketCap. So if you see a project like this, you see market data is on track. It's because they are not yet trading, but the project is already being used to contribute to the Polkadot ecosystem. Yeah, so I think I'll just I'm pressed for time now, past my time. So I'll just entertain questions now. So please, you can drop me your questions specifically on this ecosystem that we're talking about in context of what we just talked about. So I'll be happy to answer any of the questions here. So starting with the most recent question here, please, what of Moonbeam? Please feel free. It's a legacy project. It's a legacy project here. Please link where to stake a star. Okay, we'll provide you the link via the Telegram group. We'll drop the link on Telegram group. Then any feedback on staking Moonbeam, it's easier to handle if you're staking. Yeah, exactly. So it was until tonight that we found out that you can't actually, Binance was supposed to be able to stake for 101% APY, but then it's sold out on Binance. So the normal platform we use as an alternative is staking, not staking rewards, staking Glimmer, staking Glimmer, stakeglimmer.com. Although the APY is not as high as that of Binance, but then you can still stake it here. So we provided a video for this on Telegram. You can just search the Telegram, use the search bar, or check for a video. Yeah, I think the video is on Telegram. We shared it, so you can stake Glimmer here. These are collators on the Glimmer for the Glimmer ecosystem. So if you're new and you're like, because we see that about 10 to 11% of Monarchaders that filled the survey are not actually hodling any tokens. So this project I've mentioned today, once you do DYOR, that is, do your own research, you can get into any one of them that you feel led to. Now, somebody said, can those who did not participate earlier do it now later? Yeah, of course, I believe that question has been answered. Okay, I've not seen any question. I hope I'm still live. Digital World, am I still live?
You're live, FD. You're live.
Okay, so do we still have any other question? Are you guys sure? Mr. Stallone said, especially clear question. Wow, we're happy to hear that. It means that the spirit of understanding is in the house. Okay, so in the next meeting, we'll teach the new members how to get into Polkadot ecosystem, installing your wallet, substrate, all those complex things, those kind of things. We'll teach you everything. Then we'll touch on ROI analysis. Remember, I just mentioned one stream. I've not come to staking, to NFTs, passive income, and all those things, So please show up for the next meeting. Yeah, and in addition to what was taught in catch up, I think we would have to introduce Zappa. Zappa is very easy to use for new members. On MetaMask now, you have to go through, switch from networks to network to start seeing your balances. On Zappa, you see all your balances at once. You see your total portfolio at once. So you just connect your wallet and you can see it's cross-chain. So we'll introduce Zappa. We'll teach you how to use it in the next meeting. So please come for the next meeting. Do not miss it. Yeah. So Digital Wealth, Mickey Way, if I'm not missing anything, maybe you can just close the meeting now, because we don't want our meetings to be taking an hour anymore. We want to quickly wrap it up as soon as possible. Finding it difficult to redeem my Glimmer. How come? Can we have access to the sheets? Yeah, of course you can. We'll share it. Thank you everybody for the